Okay. I said I was gonna start doing some short pieces about ayahuasca. And if you don't know what that is, look in the title of this video up here for the weird spelling of it. And wiki it and catch it. You'll catch up. Because this is a JRE situation. Everybody's heard all this talk about DMT. And DMT is the active ingredient in ayahuasca. So, I'm just going to get into a little bit of my experiences with it. Wow, I can't get over my own hair. I cut my own hair, and I can't get over it. It's one of the better haircuts I've ever had. Some fool punctured my lung, punctured my right lung when they were cleaning them out, from the smoke damage, and that caused a whole other cycle of drama. And during that time, my hair grew out like, wow, it was down to my waist and full of big baseball-sized knots. So I could no longer comb it, and I grabbed a pair of those cooking shears one night, and I cut it with about 4 strokes of the scissors. So sometimes it's just the thing. So that explains everything right there. So to begin, ayahuasca. DMT is the active component that gets you there, along with some other things that sustain the DMT experience for several hours. Ordinarily, when you smoke DMT, it's about a 10-minute ride. And ayahuasca takes you there slower and longer. It builds slower, lasts 7 to 8 hours, and everybody has their own experience on it. My experience on ayahuasca is a little bit unusual. The first time I took it, it felt like I was home. It just felt like natural. It felt like I was returning home, and it was like, the theme of that whole night, it was like, oh, this is old home week. I said, this is like old home week. And without getting into the particulars of the visions and the psychedelic aspect of it, the most interesting reaction for me is that it was very, very funny. I became animated and very, very eager to be funny, but only in a very cosmic way. It was like cosmic. I became like a cosmic stand-up comic, for the 7 or 8 hours, and making very, very sort of advanced cosmic kind of jokes about existence, the absurdity of existence and stuff like that. And that's an unusual reaction to ayahuasca. A lot of people have horrifying experiences and see visions and snakes, and there's lots of literature on the terrifying aspect of it, but I was never terrified. It was very familiar to me, and nobody can ever know why that is, but it's probably because I started experimenting with really good acid when I was in my early teens, and so I became very adept not only at hallucinogens in their best state, but the dark side of it. I had bad trips really early, and that's a sort of an initiating experience. And if you make it through that and get your marbles back, you become adept. You become more adept at it. So I think that's probably why it didn't scare me. I had already been through the horror stuff when I was about 13 or 14. So it left me open to a lot of humor and joy, and I remember my humor was startling and surprising and disruptive to the other people in the group who were, hanging on with their fingernails and stuff. But to each his own, a couple of things about the physical aspects. There's a lot of puking and shitting. Ayahuasca is an emetic, and I remember we were served up a shot glass size serving of this really thick, syrupy, tarry, brown stuff that tastes both wonderful and abominable. And you shoot it down, and in about 20-30 minutes, everyone starts shitting and puking their brains out simultaneously, because it just cleanses you in a way that you've never been cleansed before. So that cleansing right there is part of the experience. I didn't get so much of that. I had a little retching. Otherwise, I was good to go. I'm a lifelong devotee of experimental drug field research, so I don't tend to get as rattled as the average bear. So I, have just begun to process some of these experiences. I kept a lot of notebooks, and after the current project is finished that I'm working on, I'm going to write my psychedelic book, which is the counterpart to my hardcore heroin methadone, my hardcore heroin methamphetamine book, which is set in New York, which is an audio book. So anyway, I'm just free associating here and trying to get the ball rolling about ayahuasca. If anybody has any questions, hit me up in the comments or DM, and I'll try to go at it. So I'm neither endorsing or discouraging any of this. I'm just reporting. That's what I do. Yeah? So let this be part one of the introduction to ayahuasca. Next time we'll get into how I found out about it in the first place. When I was just a teen, when I'm in my teens, I found out about it from William Burroughs and Allen Ginsberg, who I was hanging around with much too much when I was a kid. And Burroughs influenced me, both artistically and with the drug thing. So anyway, that'll make a cool story next time. Nighty night.